and I got in on the 30th of December for this half colonoscopy. So I call it a half colonoscopy. If people don't know, it's a flexisigmoidoscopy, and it only checks the lower portion of your colon. And I went in unsedated because I wanted to drive home, because if you have the sedation, you can't drive home. And yeah, it was pretty confronting when you have a camera shoved up your bum and they're telling you that they're pretty sure that you have cancer. Yeah. So that was that.
And do you, like at the time, because you were planning the wedding and you had to actually move the wedding date as well, do you think that you were just running on empty because the stress of the wedding and everything?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
And because also you had to reschedule it because of COVID. And
yeah. And I think, when we were all put in that situation, you almost feel a bit guilty for feeling that kind of stress. Like I think I had to just keep telling myself, we will get our wedding. It's just obviously not going to happen right now. And yeah, it was all very stressful. And I was a really high stressy person anyway, which didn't help.
You were actually, and you have calmed down a lot.
Yeah, funny that.
It's like Rachel grew up. Not in a bad way. I'm just like, something life-changing like that will really put a new perspective on things.
Yeah, and it does. Yeah.
What was that moment like, hearing those words?
This question always strikes me because I don't really know how to explain it. You're being told this pretty intense piece of information and you don't actually have any time to process it, especially in the moment that I was told. It's probably very out of the usual for someone to be told that they had cancer. It threw me, it floored me, I should say. And I was there by myself too, and I think the doctors and the nurses that are there, they knew what was going on, and they're all staring at you, and you know that they're doing it because they're worried for you, but at the same time you're like, please just don't, because I had no idea I still didn't know what was going on. And like I felt so fine. So then when you're told that you've got this extremely serious thing going on, like you feel like a fraud, because, and I think the way that we see cancer a lot, especially in pictures and movies or whatever, it's a really deep serious illness, and you think, well, I don't look or feel like that, so you don't associate it with. And I think that's again, there's like another huge bridge of, you can be walking around with especially bowel cancer and not knowing that you've got it, but you want to catch it then when you don't know. That's where the screening comes in. So if you can get it then, you don't have to get through to where I was.
Yeah, absolutely. The earlier you can catch it, the better the outcome. Was there a part of you that didn't believe it at first?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I remember a lot, like when I'd go home and when I'd go to sleep, that was my favorite time, because you're asleep and you're not thinking when you're asleep. And then I'd wake up until I knew where I was at. So that was a good, 2 weeks maybe, until I knew where I stood exactly, ish, that I was waking up each day going, man, I just wish that was such a horrible dream. Like, and it is, you're not in your own mind when you're thinking about it, because it just consumes you, but you also don't want it to consume you. But it's the most huge, I don't know, it's just the biggest bang has just gone off in your brain, and you're like in this big room and there's nothing but you in that room. That's kind of how it feels, and you're just really trying to hold it together.
Yeah. And it took you a while to tell people as well, because I know it took, I think it was like maybe end of January, February when you told me.
Yeah, so that was something I did. Like, I kept everyone that I knew it was going to shake the most, told them the last, because I know that I needed to know where I was at. I think probably mostly, actually, so that I could only live the conversation with you all once. Because I didn't want to have it in the beginning and then you guys be like, what's going on? And I just wanted to have it and I think I probably should be apologizing for that because it's not really fair, but
No, it's your journey though. So
yeah, I just wanted
yeah.
everyone to know. I think even like with Crystal and Emma and stuff, I think I told them literally the day before surgery. I'm about to go into surgery right now.
Yeah.
Please know that I'm okay. And I think I had to do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's your journey,
Yeah.
so you get to choose how you
Yeah.
tell people or not tell people
Yeah.
until you're ready. So people can't get upset at that because
No.
sometimes you need to figure things out for yourself.
Yeah. And it was a journey that I never expected to be
Exactly.
rolling through.
No, exactly. How did you begin to process something like that at 32 years old?
I just thought, well, you know what? Something's obviously wrong here because you go to the gym and you work out all the time, whatever. You eat pretty healthy. You're surrounded by incredible people. What is it that you are not doing here? And I immediately went back to stress, and that I was constantly stressed out, and that my mind was just forever thinking stupid thoughts. So I was like, right, there's something going on up here that you need to sort out. So that's what I prioritized, was my mindset. And I got some really incredible help around that. Read some books, and I think it was just kind of putting my focus towards something else that wasn't the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And those tools have set me up for life now. Like, there was just no. I sort of said to myself, you can make this can be like what takes you over, or you can take it over. So instead of cancer being the one, it was like I made it my bitch basically, because I was like, you're not gonna have me. You're just not. So
honestly, the way you dealt with it, I was just amazed at how your mindset, you didn't let negativity get in. Like, I know you said to me that there were moments that you had to yourself that you really struggled when you're on your own, but when you're around people, like, you were just so strong. Like, I was just absolutely gobsmacked at the way you dealt with it, because I don't think I could have dealt with something like that like how you did.
I think it was I think it was being in a position where I finally figured out like how things make you feel and how much that matters. So it was like, cool, I can sit here and be like, oh my God, and this is not shade on anyone that is unable to get through it in that way, but I'm like, I can't envision myself being sad and depressed and letting this affect me to the point where it's like you surrender to it, and you're like, oh, well, just whatever. But I was like, no, it's, you've got a choice, and that was mine. So
yeah, well, it definitely worked for you in your favor, because sometimes I think when you have a really good mindset, you can kind of like manifest.
100%, definitely.
Yeah,
there's no two ways about that.
Yeah. What helped you get through those first few days after your diagnosis?
Not a lot in those first few days, I'll be honest, because I didn't know where I stood. So those first few days were the hardest. And anyone that ever messages me, I always say that to them too, is like, that unknown phase is probably the most challenging you will encounter in the whole thing. At least, when you've got your, I don't know, if you're going to have surgery, you'll have your surgery date, the chemo, all those starting points. At least you know where you're at. In the beginning, you've got your first initial diagnosis, ish, and then you're waiting for scans and stuff, and you don't know where you're at. It's like, I went through all kinds of things in my mind, like do I need to start planning a funeral? Like, just, it was really like, it sent me down. But I think I just allowed that to happen, because if I had suppressed that, it would have come through eventually. So I think it was that self-awareness as well that I just let happen. So it was all part of the healing, but those first few days were hard. And it was, the best thing to help me was allow that. to happen.